Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Gamescom LOL Challenge. We took a little bit longer than we would have hoped, but we should be able to get underway with our first game of today, Ninjas in Pajamas versus Spartiate, in just a couple of seconds.
Yeah, and they are taking a little bit of time. It's natural, you know. Gamescom's a very long weekend. Enjoying themselves. It is, of course, a nice experience to be at Gamescom as well. But hopefully we can get into this, you know. And this is kind of this is kind of a big enough game for Ninjas in Pajamas because they weren't entirely convincing in their winners bracket win over Spartiate.
No, they really weren't.
And if they lose this, they're out completely. This is a best of one, as we say. Anything can happen. And Spartiate seem to be a fan of the kind of non-traditional comps, as you call it, cheese that kind of works out sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, certainly they've run with some unconventional stuff. I mean, in this exact matchup, they ran a very unconventional style. I mean, AD mid is actually becoming a little more popular than it used to be, specifically Tristana, but certainly running Trinda mid top is not a common choice. Thing is, though, Ninjas in Pajamas, they know they're going to be up against SK Prime and H2K if they can win through this match. So they've really got to pull themselves back together again. Obviously, they're running with 2 subs. That's not ideal for them. But they cannot use that as an excuse if they want to get anything other than 3rd place, because H2K and SK Prime are looking really, really strong. And this will be a trial for them, really.
Yeah, see if they can actually bring it together for this game. And honestly, we said it there, that not convincing win. They did look strong enough in their picks, in their kind of general play, but there was a couple of overextensions in the game yesterday with SK Prime, and just I feel like they haven't really shown us exactly how much potential they really have, and that they just need to kind of bring it all together, come in with a solid comp, and just, you know, show us what they have.
Yeah, we'll see if they can manage to do that. I believe we are very likely getting underway now. Should be just showing up in a second. There we go. So, first ban, Tristana. Nothing too surprising there. That's actually, though, I suppose it's an interesting fact in that they're banning it out. But Freeze does like to play as Trist.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to make sure that they don't get the same comp that nearly cheesed them off yesterday. And you see Fizz banned out as well. But it's kind of a smart enough ban. Tristana is generally quite strong anyway. Obviously, you have that late game insurance, and she's quite good at wave clear once she gets those a couple of items on her. So it's not a bad ban in any sense, but not my top priority in terms of OPs.
No, but it does keep it out of the hands of Istari, who is very, very good on that Fizz. So, understandable choice that they've gone for there. They have got first pick here, so NIP not banning Maokai makes a lot of sense. But either Maokai or Nidalee will be left open here. We see Nidalee is the only counter to Maokai so far. So, if both are let through by Sparta, what will NIP pick?
I don't know why, but I would like to say they're going to ban the Syndra last.
That could make sense.
Could make sense. No, actually, a Kog'Maw. So taking out both late game hyper carries.
Yeah, that is going to be an interesting choice. It's not like Freeze is particularly dependent on those hyper carries to play. Obviously, it is a good way for NIP to take advantage of their better team fighting on the whole than Sparta. But now, of course, NIP is faced with the choice. Nidalee open, Maokai open. Hugely high priority picks, very, very strong. Nidalee has less good other lane matchups than Maokai.
Yes.
But Maokai is not that good against Nidalee, so Sparta would be left with the option of picking that, and Spontex certainly likes to play it, so they're going to leave their options open, force the same choice onto Sparta. Lo and behold.
They're not going to head. They're not going to hesitate. I think Spontex, he likes Nidalee. He's able to go all in. He's able to be aggressive in his own play style, which suits him very, very strongly. As you say, there's not a lot of great matchups going up against the Nidalee, and to be honest with you, it's great kind of mind play by Ninjas in Pajamas. They left open the Maokai and the Nidalee, and they said, we know you're going to pick Nidalee, so they didn't have to pick the Maokai. You know, they can play against this now. They can counter the Nidalee.
Yeah, well, they may well still opt for Maokai just on the grounds that he's so damn good, but we'll see what they choose to lock in. They've Sparta smartly taking away the Nami. Seems to be becoming very, very popular at the moment. Is definitely a good combo with Lucian specifically, so that might just be that we've been seeing people picking away Nami multiple times from the Lucian, which has been the case, but it's hard to know whether they're picking it explicitly to keep it away from Lucian or to keep it just because Nami is a strong lane support. We will see now. Next pick.
Ooh, there we go. Straight away, as soon as he knew he wanted it, it was going in.
Yeah.
But I like Zinzao. I think he's a very good jungler. Obviously, he does fall off incredibly far once it hits the very late game. He just doesn't seem to be able to give out as much as certain other junglers, but he's still a very, very strong pick. Orianna was left open, and Astari's going to be taking that. Overall, their picks so far are pretty solid.
Yeah, NIP have got themselves a very standard-ish comp. Not necessarily with the Xin being a standard pick, but he's very similar to a lot of other champions, although picking Xin does beg the question of why you wouldn't just pick Jarvan. Functions very similarly. Slightly weaker earlier ganks, and I guess there's no disengage component there, but it's not like they really need disengage against Sparta anyway at the moment, so a little bit curious, but next two picks being considered here. Lee Sin, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Good jungler.
Still very, very strong.
Not so much as he was.
No, but they might go with the Zillion.
That could work.
Could. You do have the bomb delivery system. They are going to go with it. And Zillion has kind of cropped up every now and again because he just has immense poke and kind of, just really annoying poke as well. It just kind of you can see the countdown, you're going to take damage. Against an Orianna, though, she can shield up a lot of his damage, and if they pick the Lulu as well, there's another shield, so they're kind of mitigating a lot of Zillion's kind of poke potential.
Yeah, he's not just a lane bully, though. Certainly he does do a lot of damage in that lane scenario, but a lot of the reason I think that Sparta wants to pick him right now is that it creates a lot more opportunities for them to split push with Nidalee. It enables them to clear waves quite quickly. Obviously, the time bombs do a very, very good job of doing that. And it gives you that almost permanent movement speed buff that you can use to either engage when you've created pressure with Nidalee or to disengage if you think you're going to get chased down. It's not 100% reliable because it's obviously a movement speed buff, not a blink, but it even gives you that edge when you're trying to get the... if you do get engaged on, since you can then use it chrono shift to keep yourselves alive. But... Alistair and Lulu.
Yeah, I would imagine that is Lulu support. But it might be Alistair. See, this is the thing. They could be both top and support. They're both very, very viable in those two positions. But as we've said earlier in the week or in the weekend, Lulu has serious mana troubles in the laning phase, and it's quite difficult to maintain that kind of level of high harass as well as high sustain. So possibly putting her up in the top lane with an Alistair support.
Yeah, I imagine it will be a top lane Lulu here, as you say. The mana problem is especially bad against Nami, because if you end up in a sustain race against her, you're not going to win. And you are also a little bit vulnerable, not super vulnerable to being all-in. Lulu does at least have pretty good peel. But we'll see. At the moment, they haven't got the Alistair in the support position, so it is looking like as predicted.
Honestly, I don't think that's going to work out really well for them because Alistair's kind of similar in the sense of what he can do, like similar enough to Maokai. But I imagine that Nidalee would do the same thing that she would do to Alistair that she would do to Maokai, just with slightly more annoying kind of knockbacks. High harass, not easy, but like a lot, easier to burst down than maybe most others. Like Lulu would have the range advantage, but have the range kind of like, level petting, and it's just something that I'm very curious as to why they wouldn't put Lulu against Nidalee.
Yeah, I don't think it would. Well, Lulu would arguably be, a bit more sustained there, but Alistair at the very least will always remain very relevant because he's got that crowd control. He can always try and roam around the place, set up ganks, be a team fight presence, and they've got a ton of peel. It's worth noting right now for NIP. That whole composition is just, it's going to be impossible to dive their backline. But yeah, I'm not sure about Lulu into Nami, and I'm not sure about Alistair into Nidalee. Of course, Lulu against Nidalee still isn't a particularly good matchup. She's still susceptible to the all-in from Nidalee, and she can't poke her out because of the sustain from the E of Nidalee. NIP obviously have a plan. They obviously feel like this is the best way they can run this composition, or they forgot to swap, which is the other option. But
yeah,
I am a little bit doubtful of that. So we'll see. Looks like we might see an early invade regardless. That certainly should be a sensible strategy.
They have got a very, very strong level 1 with the Xin Zhao and Cabo Shard's Alistair, as well as Voidal's Glitterlance, so wouldn't be a bad idea, but the problem is if they do miss out on maybe a flash pulverize or something like that, they will leave themselves very exposed. Oh, they've been caught out. There it is. I'm so fresh. Spontek's going to run away. They know exactly where they're going. The invade. No one's going to be caught out.
Not going to be caught out, but it will give NIP the wards. And of course, we haven't really mentioned it, but Sparta have actually picked themselves into a Vayne lane here. So will they be trying to avoid the direct 2-on-2? Possibly. They have got Nami though, and again, I still favor that support pick in the laning phase over Lulu. So NIP have not actually left the brush yet. They stick around. See if Sparta gets anything done. If they look to maybe go for a counter invade, there's not a lot of information for Sparta right now. And we have a pause.
We do have a pause. Just before we go on out, the entire of Sparta, or Spartiate, are in the mid lane. They really, really want that 2v1. They want to know exactly where the bot lane of NIP are going. So they're really grouping up, and they might actually try bait this. They might try catch them out when they're coming back from the red buff steal. Orianna's not with them. This could be a smart enough strat, or it could just be where is the jungler going? Or not the jungler, the bot lane going.
There are, of course, aspects of this that we saw last time these two teams played. I believe NIP went for a very similar early invade. But there's also, if we think about this seriously here, there are aspects of the 2v1 that actually favor NIP here. It prevents Spontex from bullying Alistar around. Alistar has much more opportunity to just roam around the map of PHP. Look at how we have the counter invade from Sparta. They may not be aware.
Yeah, here we go. We've got to get Spontex caught up now. He has to run away from this. He's actually going to get Orianna from the backside. Splash in, the Ignite was used. They used the exhaust onto Luna. This is going horribly wrong for Sparta. They pick up 2 kills. Will they be able to pick up a Starry? I don't think so. They are going to lose 2 kills. That was the worst possible situation there for Spartiate.
Yeah, they just didn't take account of the fact that even though it wasn't actually necessarily a numbers advantage at the start of that fight for NIP, they didn't take account of the fact that there's just so much early presence in that level 1 fight. NIP had so much crowd control, they were forced into an instant retreat with their valuable damage-dealing members being forced back very early, and NIP just chased down 2 kills. So, good start for them, not so much for Sparta.
No, and the worst possible kind of 2 people for Spartiate getting the kills, Orianna and Lucian both picking up assists as well, so they are very much ahead. We will see the 2v1. Vayne and Lucian going to be getting a lot of free farming. It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt Spontex a lot more, considering he's not roaming around with his jungler.
It'll be tricky for him to get farm. He does have the innate sustain on the E, which is very, very valuable in a 2-on-1. Not even having to go near the minions like a lot of characters do, but not likely that he's going to be able to hold this for much longer. It looks like the old favorite, the 4 versus 0 push in the top lane. NIP. You have 4 people up there. Spontex is leading, so it's going to be a 4 versus 0 up there, but we aren't seeing a parallel in bot.
No, I think honestly the push to get the tower back would not really favor Spartiate. They really want farm on Vayne, and that's what you want to do. You want to make sure she's safe. You want to make sure she just gets her experience, gets her levels and all her gold to get those big items so that she becomes that kiting machine in the late game. But it's very, very difficult. They have got technically position on this dragon. They could go for it, but Shlea going to be knocked up. Kamashar takes a tower hit. So you see Lee Sin going in with the safeguard, but nothing too crazy.
So they've left the AD carry up top lane, and they're leaving the bottom lane farm to go essentially to waste. But that's because Sparta have committed their 2 supports. So, sorry, they've committed 2 players to that bot lane. So there is a big numbers advantage for NIP, and it's now a game of can Sparta juggle around and avoid the kill potential, which is huge from this 4-man team of NIP, while still getting themselves that far without losing too much across the map. Who's going to get it?
Oisin He's actually not even going to go for the golem. He's going to jump straight in. There are no flashes there available for Spontex. He's going to have to run away. Pounces off that one. This is the early game kind of nice pressure coming out for One So Fresh. He knows that Zinzao is going to be strong in this section. But here comes Nami. You're not going to have that sustain. They might try bait out something here. The minions. They're going to cheap chase them. They're going to keep going. They're going to have to kill that minion because they have full vision of this team.
Yeah, kind of frustrating there, but Spartiate actually not doing too badly out of this. There's 1,000 gold difference on the farm front right now, there's 1,000 gold difference, but it's mostly not due to the farm. It's mostly on the kills that they got in that early game in the first blood specifically. So Nono is getting himself farmed up. Nobody is dying. There's no towers dropping for NIP. And while Freeze is also getting free farm, that's obviously not going to be nearly as threatening to the future of the enemy team as a Vayne getting farmed up. Mid lane is very much a zero-sum equation at the moment. They're just building themselves some big numbers.
Yeah, Schleyer going to be able to pick up his tier, stacking that up. But this is a better situation for Vayne than it is for Freeze on Lucian, because there's no pressure in this bot lane at all. There's nothing. There is no way that she could be able. There was no kind of potential of him or her having to lead, or Nono having to lead lane, which Lucian had when they were up top lane trying to catch out Spontex. They do take a very early dragon though. That's a nice rotation there from Spartiate. And honestly, this 2v1 seems to be favoring them a little bit more.
It really, really is. So now, of course, Spartiate took a very nice maneuver there. Basically, they saw the 4-man group up top lane was taking a bit of damage. They seemed to be going back. They knew Spontex didn't want to stay up top anyway. It wasn't particularly safe with the massive freeze that Freeze has built. So they just went down for that dragon. They could have disengaged had NIP somehow been there, but it was very unlikely for that to even be the case. And they continue to benefit. They deny NIP the one thing they could potentially do, and to punish. And they are actually catching up on gold now.
Yeah, it's definitely very, very interesting. They're leaving Freeze up in the top lane, and he's not gaining an advantage, as there's just not a lot for him to do except just freeze the lane. And Alistair and Lulu just seem to be kind of caught between a rock and a hard place. They're trying to make plays, obviously, with their early game with the Zinzao. They're trying to do something with that, but it's just so difficult for them to figure out where they have to be.
I think they need a little China in them right now. They need to, or maybe have missed their opportunity for it, but I think what they needed was to do a dive, although Lunette would actually be the ideal target. He's very, very squishy.
No, does miss the glitter lance. It's a good condemn away. They are going to go up on the Lunette. There goes the double exhaust being used onto Nono and I'm So Fresh. Here comes Sean's though. They may be able to turn this right the way around. He will be able to get his Q off. He does get it. Voidal going to be slowed down as well. Bubble should be up now in 2 seconds. They're not going to be able to get it though. Shard able to jump in front of that. Flash was burned though on Voidal. A nice counter again. Again, it's really strange. We're seeing a 3-3 at the moment. Actually a 4-4 as Nidalee goes to mid lane and Schleyer sneaks himself into this bot lane and may try bait this.
Starry is heading down, so even though Zillion snuck in there, he didn't find an opportunity to do very much with it. Now, that was a strange bit of split focus in that fight from NIP. They seemed not to know whether to go for Nono, who is obviously the damage threat, and you want to focus him out if you can. You want to deny him farm, yes. But I think I would side with the players that chose to focus Lunette, as they were thinking, I don't think we can kill Nono in this amount of time. He's still got both his summoners, he's Vayne, he's Slippery, there's Condemned to consider. Let's go for the much squishier Nemi option. But of course, split focus is the worst possible decision, so overall that was just a lack of coordination. No call on the target, perhaps. Red buff steal is going to be repeated here from NIP, so that's just a fairly standard thing. Take advantage, you know the buff timer. Not going to be losing anything in return. 3 buffs on the second buff, but that's not nearly as valuable as it is in the early game.
Yeah, we actually seen NIP picking up a bit of picking up their kind of gold advantage again as we do wait for them to. Oh, that's a good condemn by Nono trying to go onto Freeze. He will get 1 silver bullet, but they do get a good pulling off as well. Lunette Needs to be very, very careful. Lulu was around the place. There goes Spontex jumping onto I'm So Fresh. He needs to flash away. He actually has got his flash. He's not going to use it, though. Will he get it? He does use it in the end, though. The spear not quite hitting. There goes the ultimate there from Istari. He's trying to go away. There's the ultimate as well from Shalea. They baited him out very, very nicely. He's forced to flash away. It's not going to be enough, though. The bomb was on top of him. Nice rotations there from Spartiate.
Yeah, very, very good there. They were able to get themselves the advantage just by having the right people in the right place, and that's the fearsome aspect of Nidalee, is the chase down. You cannot keep away from it. She keeps spiking you down with that takedown damage, so you can't stay and trade. But if you run away, of course, you're putting yourself into a position where she's just going to dash on you anyway if she's already marked you. And she's got spears to do that with very, very easily if you're running only in one direction. So all very good for them. 200 gold behind still, but how well Nono's doing right now, I think that's a good price.
Yeah, 200 gold. Realistically, that's not even the... it's only about 100 gold now. That's not even the kill that Ninjas in Pajamas have accumulated. So right now, Spartiate, despite a very shaky start where it could have snowballed, you can go on tilt in these situations knowing it's a best of one. They've come back exceptionally strong.
Yeah. And I feel like it is mostly the style NIP was playing, what they were doing with their 3 members, essentially, with their people not committed at bot, not committed at top, not committed at mid. They had Alistair, they had Lulu, and they had Xin. And they had these 3 huge high damage carries, and they had very, very squishy targets they could potentially have looked to dive, but they just didn't find it in themselves to do it. Maybe they felt they never had the opportunity. They would have gone for Nidalee top. It was actually a good ward by Spartiate back then that kept her alive. I still think they would have maybe done well to try and engineer a dive on Zillion, even if that meant the death of one of the divers, simply because it would have enabled them to deny CS and also to put damage on the tower. They haven't built momentum as it is.
Yeah, actually Spartiate pretty smart right now. They know exactly that I'm So Fresh is coming in. Very nicely done by them, actually. They read that very, very well. Saw that Zinzao was mid. Actually, a bit of a bad play, though, from Zinzao. Here we go. There's the bubble. It's a great bubble onto a star. He gets condemned against the wall as well. Gets kicked away. He's going to go down. There's the shockwave. Only lands on the Shans. They did drop the exhaust onto I'm So Fresh. Here comes the tidal wave. There was a teleport in from Spontex from the side. They used the wild cloak onto I'm So Fresh. It's not going to be enough. Perfect timing for the Dragon.
Perfect timing for the Dragon. 2 kills for the Vayne. That's not a good turn of events for NIP, especially when you consider that it's going to be almost impossible to focus Nono down in these fights. Movement speed from the Zillion, with the ultimate from the Zillion, almost impossible, and he's very, very slippery. Anyway, Cabochard is going to try and take this tower in return, but at this point, he's rather starved on gold. He's got his Sheen, but he's not going to do that much damage, and Spontex has already taken... Oh no, he hasn't taken. He teleported down. Yeah,
yes.
Okay.
But he
nearly took top tower.
Yeah, but they might trade mid lane tower as well. So this could be. They are actually going to trade this. That's going to be a tower trade as well. So still a free Dragon in the end of everything.
Yeah, the dominoes are very likely to fall soon as well, since Nono's spent more time in that bottom lane. Can't actually tell you whether that tower is low or not, but the top tower definitely is. So there's a lot of free gold waiting on the map for Sparta to take it, and they're already ahead with a stronger late game potentially. Because NIP's late game, ton of crowd control, really heavy crowd control actually. But they are potentially going to be lacking a bit in damage. They're very dependent on both Orianna and Lucian doing well. I'm So Fresh may go for the Feral Flare, which would help to ameliorate their damage issue in the late game. But for now, looks like they're going to be continuing to farm. Try and lick their wounds.
Yeah, we actually see a 1,400 gold lead in favor of Spartiate, and they're playing an awful lot better than they are there. Oh no, freeze. He has to flash away, but here comes I'm So Fresh and the teleport in from Cabochard. They may be able to get something here. Not really able to do anything at all. I feel like Vital should have used the Wild Growth to delay them from going back. They could have gotten an awful lot more. In the end, all they do is burn a teleport.
Yep, burn their own teleport, burn the flash out of Vayne, but that's pretty much an equivalent exchange, especially when we consider Freeze is actually using flash and his heal. Zillion is there.
Yeah, Zillion is coming in. They use the wild grow onto I'm So Fresh. They try to jump onto Luna. There's not really anything going down just yet. They did use the chrono shift onto Nami. She comes back. They do get the tower in the end. They are going to try kite this back though. A lot of low health bars on the sides and into the jammers. They trade towers in the end. Good rotation there from Zillion. They may be able to keep chasing this, but Nami has no Nama.
They lose the 3v4. And they lose top tower in that exchange as well. Orianna is currently stuck mid and pushing, but not going to do much with it.
Schleyer, what are you doing? Got completely zoned in there and trying to get the kill. Tried to move in there, but all the while, this top lane tower, it's going to go down. They're going to lose 2 towers in this game for this. Orianna has to move in this mid lane to try and trade back.
Yeah, I'm not sure Schleyer really needed to die there, but even considering delaying the recalls on this 4-man squad of NIP is definitely worth the while. Yeah, 2 big towers games. They're going to be...
and they don't even lose one.
Yeah, not quite.
Not quite.
They're going to be trying to catch his Starry, but it's not really an option here. He's a little bit too quick, a little bit too far away. All this while.
No, just farming up. He's getting the item, like he's on the right path. He is keeping up in terms of items, in the sense he hasn't played the Rune King versus the IE of Lucian. Obviously, Lucian is at a much higher power spike, but you know what? Vayne is the queen of kite. She just has so much tools to her dispense to just run around the map and just completely outplay people if you can play her right.
Yeah, we'll see. Still very much depending on how this gun is engaged.
Oh wow, the condemn into the kick. Vital, you are going down. That was very nicely played. They land the Q from Lee Sin. They got the condemn, so she was already going against the wall regardless if he hit it or not. Kicked him right back. There was literally about 2.5 seconds of just him being able to do nothing.
Yeah, there was no way out of that situation. Sort of a bug that enables you to flash sometimes when you are CC'd.
Yeah.
But arguably there, Sean shouldn't have kicked him because, use the Dragon's Rage kick because it did prevent the stun from resolving out of the condemn, which would have happened anyway. I mean, it makes absolutely no difference. He died either way, but perhaps an unnecessary cooldown.
Could have maybe used his wild growth. Maybe could have got out of his team, been able to formulate, but another kill onto Vayne though. 3-0, 125 farm. Once she kills off these minions, that's going to be no-no looking pretty damn scary. Yeah,
hasn't shopped in a little while either, so we'll see if she's got some decent
wow.
items. Yeah, 2,000 gold is a pretty significant amount. And I think going to Camp Siege here, this should be their tower. Pretty much free but for the commitment of their entire team. Still, there's nothing being traded back by Sparta.
No, not quite. We do see Lucian getting a little bit of a farm lead. He is low, down on kills though. Dragon will be up in a minute, so that will be the next point of contention. There really is not many Dragon wards. There's a couple of defensive wards over the behind the back to make sure you're not getting caught just before you're coming into Dragon Pit. But Spontex might use this opportunity to try and catch out Alistair. Don't think he's going to be able to do it though. Just starts clearing pink wards.
Very tricky to kill Alistair in their current situation. Yesterday when we saw Alistair being fought out, it was because there was consistent low cooldown crowd control. Nidalee doesn't really have that. She can chase him down, but she's not going to be able to get him low enough, fast enough to really do anything about it. Interesting pick up on the boots front from Alistair. The Ionian boots. Cooldown reduction is very valuable on Alistair just because his base abilities are so valuable. But I'm still a little bit surprised to see it. Normally you go tanky or like full damage. But
yeah, but the amount of auto attack damage that would be coming out, I'm surprised he didn't go into Tabe like I'm So Fresh did. They are trying to jump onto Luna. He is completely by himself. He's actually going to go down. That's good flash though. Use the tidal wave. He might escape it. It's not going to be enough though. Another dash here coming from So Fresh. Pops the exhaust. He is delaying this for very much well. Vital end up taking all this time though. Spontex is in the bot lane. He's going to be able to pick up his inhibitor tower if he's able to get another wave. And they're going to trade Dragon. They're not even going to trade the Dragon. This is a fantastic rotation from Spartiate.
Yeah, they're well aware that that Dragon was a threat from NIP. And NIP were, thanks to Lynette taking so long to drop, they just couldn't They could not afford to stay and finish off the dragon that they had put so much effort getting. Spontex gets it.
He gets it, and honestly, he might sacrifice his life, but I
Worth
think
it.
100% worth it. This early stage, they're actually going to try to get a dragon as well, but Zinzao is around the place. Sean's a little bit lower than he possibly like. There's the teleport in, coming in from Cavalshard. He's going to try to jump in onto No. Gets the speed up, though. He will, unfortunately, have to trade back this dragon. Or will they? Here comes Lunette. He might get a good bubble. That's a great shockwave, though, onto No. And a great cat. Oh, No gets absolutely obliterated. Shut down onto him. They're trying to jump onto Zillion. They do get him as well. Lunette did kind of sideswipe the culling there, but it's a great turnaround there from Ninjas and Pajamas. They don't even care. They're going to go straight down this mid lane. But a great shockwave from Istari.
Oh, that was what they needed. That was so what they needed. They were slipping further and further away. I'm not sure I like the Baron call here, though. They are
Very
squishy.
early. This is very, very early. They have got a little bit of an edge sustain. They are going to be able to throw a ward over the side. Those Spontex can kill people, though. We've seen him do it before. Like, this is nothing new. They have not got another ward to go in there. He does miss a spear onto everybody.
CC, but Sean's is up.
Oh my god, Astari needs to be very careful. Spontex going to go down, though. They have delayed the Baron. Again, he dies, but very much worth it.
Yeah, that one was definitely worth it in stopping the Baron, but it did actually mean that in the end, NIP's Baron call kind of works out. They get themselves the kill, although they could lose the dragon, so...
They gained no objectives from the 3 kills they picked up at Dragon Pit. Honestly, I think that's just a win.
Yeah, I don't think it was a particularly good Baron call, honestly. Too high risk with too many people alive from Spartiate at too early of a stage. If that was 5 minutes down the line, I said, you know, maybe that would work out for you. You could rely on being able to take the dragon up and safe. But it is. They have, as you say, not gained too much from that team fight. They should, in theory, still be able to win the next one.
Only 1,000 gold. Well, 1,200. That far ahead. Vayne. Static Shield instead of Phantom Dancer. I like it in the sense that they are, Spartiate as a team are missing a lot of wave clear, so it does help him in that kind of sense.
Yeah, it also gives you. Oh wait, which one gives you 1% more movement speed? I think it's Static Shield gives you 1% more than Phantom Dancer. I don't want to call it, but regardless of that, you're right. The wave clear here is very much fitting into Spartiate's playstyle. They do not want 5-on-5 team fights. No. We've seen what happens in the only one that happened overall, but they've actually done very well at playing the map overall so far. And having Vayne be an incredible split-pushing duelist, actually going for free.
Yeah, oh, that's a good flash away. Sean's going to be able to jump in, though. There's the culling, not going to be able to get on. There's a kick on the freeze. It's going to be Anso Fresh trying to jump in. He's going to have to run away, though. No. There's one auto attack could slow him down. Don't think he's going to get in range. That's the problem with Vayne. Her range is just so much significantly smaller than most other AD carries.
She doesn't have the ability to enable you to chase someone down. She does, of course, have the Tom. She gets in range. She's impossible to get on.
That's a great... Oh, the combo there was unreal. They're using the Wild Grow with Cavalshard. The Shockwave is still available. They actually have not used it yet. It's a great bubble and Tidal Wave, though. Great disengage there from Navi. Very, very nicely done.
Context is pushing mid lane as well. He's going to get that in a tower. And yet NIP's immediate move after that fight is to go do golems with 3 people. Very, very strange deployment.
They seem lost right now. They really don't know where they need to be at what time. They've committed quite a lot down that bot lane, knowing that Freeze was dead. It was a 4v4. Spontex obviously in the mid lane, but not getting anything from it. And that's the that's the kind of the greatness that Zillion can bring you. You can get dived on, get caught out by that one person. It doesn't matter if you can disengage. It's perfectly fine by you.
Yeah, long term that cost them 1 flash. Really not a bad trade for a tower. So can NIP find another engage? Honestly, Spartiate probably shouldn't have been caught in that fight in the first place. They were a little bit arrogant in their strength down there. And obviously, thinking Freeze is dead, what can they really do to us? Turns out Orianna can do a lot to you, but they are still building themselves these objectives. It's going to get harder and harder, though. Their split pushing has been fairly successful so far. They've got the 3 extra towers, they've got the objectives, but they're not miles ahead in gold. Their opponents have good KD ratios at the moment. They may have to start considering how to force fights that they can actually start winning if they want to actually finish off an inhibitor completely.
Honestly, I think they are going to, for the moment, they're going to keep with the split push because regardless of, it's still too early for NIP to go for a 5-man Baron, even if they went 5v3, because there's just too much kind of poke and disengage, and you know Spontex has got his TP up, so they can still go with this 1-3-1. Spontex needs to be a little bit careful.
Oh, he's not being.
No, he's not being. Just get jumped in there by I'm So Fresh. There's Cabochak coming in as well with the headbutt. He gets an auto attack. Aggro's the tower. He's going to be able to jump away though. Honestly, he might be able to get away from this. I'm So Fresh trying to jump over. He does. Oh, it's going to be perfect. He's not. Minions roaming over. He doesn't get the jump. Spontex. Minion roam OP, but they are using this commitment to try and bait out a little bit of a Baron. They do get Cabochak's teleport though coming in. He does jump onto Sean's. He's going to try and get a little bit more speed. There's the wild growth, though. It's very nicely done. Good kick away, though. Sean's going to be pretty damn safe. They might go for Baron.
This time it makes a lot more sense. This is 5 minutes down the line, almost exactly. However, there are a lot more members around. No is still available to respond to this Baron call. They need to catch someone and burst them out.
Great bubble, though. There's the flash by Cabochak. He's not going to catch anyone. Luna can never use it. It's another great tidal wave. He has been absolutely on point. They stop
What is
the
No
Baron. No, you need to get out of there. You are in the wrong position right now. He needs to tumble his way out. He is being caught. Pretty sure he might be able to get away from this. Actually, I don't think he will. I think he's got caught.
Yeah, he's taking the long route here.
Yeah, very, very poorly played. Oh, wait.
Alive.
There's the Blade of the Rune King active. He did not do it in time, though. He has got the red buff. One more tumble. He's not going to get away, though. Voidal going to be able to pick up back kill. Don't know why he picked it up, though, as the Ignite was used by Orianna. You know, Lulu likes some kills, too.
Yeah, a little bit strange there, but doesn't really matter. He was maybe thinking, well, she might get away somehow, somehow some flashes and heals and things like that. But strange lack of awareness from Nono there. I mean, he just didn't seem to have looked at the map. He didn't seem to know NIP was baiting Baron and just kept pushing and pushing and pushing. Maybe expecting the Baron to last a very, very long time so he could start pressuring the inhib. But I really don't get the original purpose behind that. So, as it is, it took so long to die. It didn't. It was just a kill, but it still was just an unnecessary.
Maybe he didn't expect his team to do so well at disengaging and stopping the Baron. Maybe just a little thing like that. You know, you expect it. You know, if they are going to go for Baron, they would go for it quite full-heartedly, but it was definitely a great way of stopping it there from Slayer and Luna. They are going to be able to get this dragon as well. It should be done by then. Good timing as well by the bomb, that extra damage with the smite. The next objective, honestly, 4 dragons to none. It's been Spartiate. They haven't been winning the fights, as we said. They haven't been the split push, but objectives win games.
Yep, that is true, but NIP is starting to actually regain a lot of their objectives. There's Tower going down, they're reclaiming that distance. Spontex is still split pushing. This is not a good idea though for Spontex. NIP are aware that even if they were forced into engage, they would be very, very happy to just have Cabochak tanked up with his ult. Unless Spontex can literally trade back an entire inhib here, this is a lost objective fight.
Oh, that's a great combo there from NIP. Shockwave and the Wild Growth. They're going to be able to take out Lee Sin. Schleyer goes down as well, not able to use his ultimate on himself. Vayne goes down as well. This is a very good fight. They can end this right here, right now. They have got the Lucian. He's got double buffs as well. They're going to jump onto Lunat. He's going to go down. This is game. This was an unbelievably horrible call by Spartiate. They're going to be able to get out the Nexus Surge. That's going to be the game. Ninjas in Pajamas come out just from a very, very good call. Your face palm is just...
I don't understand the call. That was... It was wrong on many levels, essentially. It was a very, very poor assessment of the situation. If it wasn't for the fact that they had Alistar, perhaps you could make that base race happen. They would stop at the inhib, but there's no way. When you can tank up a tower for 10 seconds there, and when they had that many minions, there is just no way you can avoid the push coming in on your tower. So you have to try and either be there with 5 people to respond to their tower push, or to somehow get your entire team down to bot lane to base race them, and that isn't an option. So really that was just Spontex unfortunately making another very strange call.
Yeah.
It's a throw.
I'm not quite sure who exactly is the shot caller on their team, if they have
If they even have one.
if they even have one. But Spontex, again, incredible. Like, it was working to a point, and literally at the point of when you made it known that this won't work for very, very long, that was when Ninjas in Pajamas turned around and said, hang on, they cannot fight us at all.
Yeah.
If we just barrel down the mid lane, which they did, we'll win. And they did win, because Lee Sin tried to engage. It was a fantastic wild growth. It was a fantastic way to stop him from doing anything into the shockwave, and they just won the fight.
But there's another thing. Why did Lee Sin even try to engage? It was 4 versus 5. Spontex could still have gotten back in time to potentially try and save the Nexus there. Just bizarre decision making all around there from Spartiate, and I liked their playstyle as a team. They were actually quite smart in a lot of their calls, and then suddenly they just took a blow to the head or something, because they really lost a lot of their common sense.
Their mid-game shot calling from the 2 games that we've seen has definitely been called into question. They've definitely made some very, very odd calls by going for particular objectives when they should be trying to defend, or doing a split push when they really should be out there with the team trying to poke down people, getting a good catch out. Honestly, Ninjas in Pajamas are incredibly lucky in a sense, because they were not really winning that game up to a point, up to about 5 minutes before the end. They were looking a bit shaky, and honestly, when they go against Asuba later in the day, which is our next match actually, it's all up for grabs. Ninjas in Pajamas do not look that good.
Yeah, I mean, that could be the subs for us, of course. Often you'll find junglers are heavily involved in the shot calling for a team, and Alex is one of the most experienced mid laners in Europe, so he is most likely involved. I cannot, however, assert any evidence for that, excepting in the fact that NIP did not look like the NIP we know, although that could be demoralization from having failed to qualify for LCS. Many things, many questions abound, but regardless, as was mentioned, is going to be the next lower bracket match up next, which will be Isuba up against NIP after a break, which will be coming up fairly shortly. But while that's going on, feel free to check out FACEIT, which is a service that will enable you to match yourself and your team, or if you're a loner, just yourself, with similar skilled players to play with or against 1v1s, 2v2s, 3v3s, whatever you name it, in a league setting against similar skilled players, so you can win prizes and hence do very, very well for yourself. Otherwise, check out TeamSpeak and Overwolf, and we'll be right back after the break.